This week's literary analysis lesson is going to be on inferencing and central idea. You should have your guided notes ready to go, and when you are finished with this video, you are to glue them into your book lover's book. Now, we've already talked a little bit about inference, but let's go ahead and revisit that just so you can get a clear idea of what it is. All right, so an inference is an educated guess. That is our classroom definition. An educated guess based on evidence and reasoning. So now those two things, evidence and reasoning. Evidence are details from the text. So what the text actually says. And you're going to use that to infer, to make an educated guess um, about something that isn't explicitly stated in the text. And reasoning, this is where you use your prior knowledge, what you already know about whatever the text is is talking about. And the reason that there are two is because maybe you don't have any prior knowledge. Maybe you have no idea about what the text is talking about. Well, then you use your evidence or the what the details in the text say to come up with your educated guess, whatever that may be. So now central idea. Central idea is what it is mostly about. It is the most important point of the literary work. Do not confuse this with topic. The topic is what the what the passage is talking about. The central idea is what it's mostly about. For example, let's say that the topic is cheetahs. So we all know that cheetahs are or we might know that cheetahs are the fastest land mammal in the world. So the topic could be cheetahs, an overarching topic of cheetahs. But the central idea, what it's mostly about, is the hunting patterns of cheetahs. So to say that the central idea is just cheetahs would be incorrect because it's mostly talking about how the cheetahs hunt and what the cheetahs do to capture their prey. So always be on the lookout between the differences between topic and central idea. So now let's practice. Let's look at this picture. Tell me, what can you infer based on this picture? So let's talk about it for just a few minutes. So it's obviously a picture of a plane that is in the water. So what do you already know about planes? Well, planes fly in the sky and then sometimes they go down. Although, interesting fact, it's safer to be on a plane than it is to travel in a car. So for those of you that are about to travel, please don't take this as something to scare you because planes are actually very, very safe. So we can infer that the plane was in the sky and that it went down. All right. We know that planes fly. We know that sometimes planes have mechanical issues. But why do you think this plane went down? This is where we use our prior knowledge of what you might know what this shot is from. This shot is actually from a plane that went down about 4 years ago, 5 years ago in New York City. And the reason it went down was because a flock of geese was in the way and it actually they were caught by the engines and the engines after the geese hit the engines they stopped working, so the pilot had to land on the water. All right. So what can you infer is the central idea? So we just did inference. All we had was the picture. We didn't know we knew it was a plane. We didn't know what plane it was. We didn't know where it was. We didn't know why it went down. But we used our prior knowledge of planes to figure out what it was about. So let's see about this article. So what do you think is the central idea of this article? Now this article is, hang on one second, let me get a better picture. All right, so this is called Wonder, Heroism, and the 5th Anniversary of Miracle on the Hudson. So there's the plane again, and we can say that the topic of this article is going to be about that plane crash. So that's what the article is about. What it is mostly about, the central idea, is the pilot. So it goes on, if we would have read this, it goes on to say how the pilot changed lives, how the pilot saved the lives, what the pilot did to save all those lives. So the topic is the plane crash, but the central idea is the pilot and what the pilot did to save all those people. All right, so here's some strategies for you to use um, whenever you're reading informational text and looking for the inference. So, look at the title and activate your prior knowledge. If you don't have any prior knowledge, then just skip this step. But if the title is something like gorillas, well, what do we already know? What do you already know about gorillas? Ask yourself that question. So you already, without even reading the article, you're already going into it with some type of knowledge of it. Distinguish the difference between central idea and topic. Remember, central idea is what it's mostly about. The topic is what it is talking about. For example, like we said, the cheetah. The cheetah could be the topic, but the hunting patterns, how the cheetah hunts, might be the central idea of the article. So distinguish between both of them. Distinguish the difference between details and central idea. So details are the points made in the article. And they might not be the central idea, or they are not the central idea because they don't stand alone. So for example, if we go back to that cheetah example, the central idea might be the hunting patterns of cheetah. And then one detail could be what kind of prey what do they hunt? So the prey, what they hunt is not the central idea. It is simply just a detail. So you ask yourself what it is mostly about. All right, so those are your notes or that is the lesson for inference and central idea. The next activity is going to ask you to elaborate more on that. If you still did not understand some of it, do not worry, we'll come back and revisit it.